Greetings, fellow detectives. Wizard Kitten here, bringing you Nancy Drew game commentary, clues, and cookies. And today we are starting out our walkthrough for the 22nd mystery in the Nancy Drew series, Nancy Drew Trail of the Twister. As always, we are starting at Nancy's desk here. We have a few fun little cookie items. We have this nice little Carnivale mask from the Phantom of Venice. We have this model ship that definitely reminds me of Ransom of the Seven Ships. Definitely looks like it could have been a ship from the game. And then we have a nice little mug here from Warnings at Waverly Academy. We always have the light, which, you know, is just fun to turn on and off for no particular reason whatsoever. Nancy Drew's scrapbook over here with all of our previous cases, the last one being Warnings at Waverly Academy, and then your how-to book if you are interested in learning more about the game controls. But let's go ahead and open up our case file.
P.G. Krollmeister has hired me to investigate a series of equipment meltdowns that have been plaguing the prominent Oklahoma storm research team he sponsors. Since his team has been expected to win the $100 million grant at stake in the upcoming Green Sky Storm competition, Krollmeister suspects that there is something far more sinister than simple equipment failure going on. I'll be joining the team undercover, replacing their previous intern Pete, who wound up with a broken leg after one of the accidents stranded him directly in the path of a storm. Stepping in at the most dangerous and chaotic period of the chase season, I'm going to have to keep my wits about me to stay on top of the sabotage and the storms.
Very interesting. So Nancy's going to be on her way to Oklahoma to investigate some mysterious accidents in a very dangerous area. Tornado Alley is definitely not a safe place to be going to, and it's especially interesting that we were hired for this case by P.G. Krollmeister, who has been in the Nancy Drew series since Secret of the Scarlet Hand, the 6th mystery in the series. Krollmeister really makes everything in the Nancy Drew games. Any sort of machine, any sort of technology, Krollmeister is probably the one who manufactures it. So he's a big deal. He's kind of an important person. So let's go ahead and get our ticket here to get on our little plane ride. We are going to do Senior Detective as usual. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Well, we're just starting off
oh my
with a
gosh!
bang. Wow. And now the rain is coming down hard. So the only way we can go is into the house, which honestly is a pretty smart idea right now. We probably don't want to be wandering around too much. So, oh, we got to clear away some of this debris here. We got a nice little tumbleweed, some thunder and some lightning. Get some of this trash out of the way. Nice newspaper.
That's a weird piece of debris.
It is a weird piece of debris.
Wow, it's filled with money.
Okay. Once again, amazing job. Thanks. Payment enclosed.
I better
That's
take
sketchy.
this and see who it belongs to.
Indeed. Okay, let's head inside. Better to be safe than sorry. Well, this is a cute little farmhouse. Oh, I love that the fan at the top is going. Oh, let's see here. Hello, Nancy. Sorry we missed you. We're out chasing. The wind shear readings are strong enough that there may be a possible tornado forming to the north. Until I return, I'd like you to familiarize yourself a bit with our operation. Please take the tornado quiz on the computer in the cellar. Don't worry, we don't care how you score. Also, there's a stack of papers in the dining room that needs to be filed away in the cabinet. You'll have to use my ordering system, but I've left notes for you on how it works. And you'll want to drive down the street to Ma and Pa's General Store to meet Pa. There's a GPS in the car. You'll like him. He's quite the character. Thanks for filling in last notice. I look forward to meeting you in person. Debbie. Yeah, so this message is from Debbie, one of the people working on the tornado team, on the chase team, and she has left us already a nice little to-do list of things that we need to get on. So, let's see. Let's maybe explore a little bit. Can we go in here? No. Okay, that's locked. What about over here? What do we got over here? Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. You know, I bet you that is a hint to an upcoming game, The Captive Curse. The monster in The Captive Curse has some definite Frankenstein vibes. That's just conjecture, but that's a hint in my opinion. Let's see, we got a nice little TV in here. Anything good on?
Next week, on season finale of Heights General, will Dr. Mering finally ask Nurse Julie out? Will the doctors find out that Sylvia still faints at the sight of blood before she performs Mr. Jenkins' spectacle?
Sounds like a soap opera of some sort.
Hey, we'll see you at the ICU.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Looks like the TV's broken. Ooh, that was definitely Stay Tuned for Danger. That was a flash of Stay Tuned for Danger. That's a cool
Previously
cookie.
on Are You a Detective?
Andrew Morris, you are not a detective.
Those looked like it was maybe the halls of Wickford Castle and Treasure in the Royal Tower. I couldn't see it. It was a little bit quick. That's kind of what it looked like, though. Interesting. Can we get another one? Oh, watching Waverly with all the Waverly Academy characters. That's so funny.
Previously on Detective Beach.
Oh,
You're a loose cannon, McNorton. I want your badge and your surfboard on my desk immediately.
Only one man would be crazy enough to use a shark to rob a bank. You gotta put me back on the case, Chief.
and Detective Beach is a character from Secrets Can Kill Remastered, so that's very interesting. All right, cool. Oh, and that is totally Lizzie Applegate from Message in a Haunted Mansion. That is a very tiny picture. Is the window broken? The window totally looks broken. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by all these fun things. Debbie said we should go downstairs and take some sort of tornado quiz on the computer. So let's do that, maybe. Oh, what's this? Some storm weather symbols. Very interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and take the quiz very quickly. It says Twister Trivia. Start quiz. The Weather Service will issue what type of alert when a tornado has been spotted? Well, a warning is when you know that there is one. So I'm going to say tornado warning. Yes, a tornado warning means a tornado has been confirmed on the ground or that Doppler radar is showing circulation where a tornado could form. A watch is issued when conditions for tornadoes or severe weather to form are possible. Makes sense? How many tornadoes are recorded on average each year in the United States? Probably a lot. I don't know, 1,500? No? 1,000? Aha! The majority of tornadoes occur in the area known as Tornado Alley, which partially includes Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois. Lots of states in the Midwest, for sure. Tornadoes are measured using what system? They are measured using the F-scale system, I believe. Invented by Dr. T. Theodore Fujita, the Fujita scale, or F scale, categorized tornadoes into 5 ratings, from F0, minor winds, etc., to F5, destructive gusts and total destruction. Oh, there's also an enhanced Fujita scale, or EF scale, that has been implemented. Very interesting. The least safe place to seek shelter in a public place, such as a theater or mall during a tornado, is a large room, I believe. Yeah, large open areas such as auditoriums or gyms should be avoided. The lack of roof support makes these areas susceptible to collapse during a tornado, which is funny because when I was a kid, we often did our tornado drills in the gym, just because that was the one place that we could put everyone, which is kind of funny. Kind of not funny, but, you know. In preparation for an emergency, every family should have a tornado plan in place, and this item. A party kit. No, disaster kit. A disaster kit contains essential supplies in case of emergency for every member of your family, including pets. Of course, we can't forget the pets. Items from basic staples to household tools to first aid kits should be included. Items such as water, sugar, salt, granola bars, batteries, flashlight, can opener, toothpaste, duct tape, and bleach. So I would write all of this down because we are going to need it to make a disaster kit at some point. So all of these items you are going to want to have in a nice little checklist. Which of the following is not indicative of a possible tornado? Let's see. A greenish-looking sky, I feel like, is. A downburst or a hook echo on Doppler radar. I don't know. Downburst? A downburst is a different type of severe weather event. In a downburst, all of its winds flow out, whereas a tornado's winds flow into the tornado itself. That makes sense. On average, what percentage of tornadoes each year rank as either an EF4 or EF5? Probably not many of them. 1%? Only 1% of tornadoes in the U.S. are ranked as the devastating EF4 or EF5. The majority, about 80%, are EF0 or EF1. Well, that's good. That's comforting. What causes the most injuries during a tornado? The flying debris, I would imagine. While the extreme high winds are a danger, it's nothing compared to the flying debris being carried by them. At speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour, common household objects picked up by the tornado become deadly missiles. Congratulations! Oh, not bad. 7 out of 8 initially. That's pretty good. Pretty good. And then you can always go back and look at these again. So if you do need to look at the emergency planning page for the disaster kit, you can certainly do that. Let's see, in the gallery here, this automatically looks a lot like Japan, which to me is a hint to the next game that will be in the series, Shadow at the Water's Edge. It just looks like the word Japan. Like, that's immediately what I saw. SHA is the abbreviation for Secret at Shadow Ranch. TSL is nothing but a pretty picture. So some of these are cool. I could also just be reading into them because, you know, it's fun too. But there's a lot of pictures of this particular windmill, which is interesting to me. That's pretty. Very cool pictures. I like the mountains. The beach is neat. Snow. This is like, I live in Minnesota. This is what Minnesota looks like frequently. All the time. Ooh, that's cool. And there's that windmill again, which is very interesting. Florida. This is not what Florida looks like. This is more what Florida looks like. Florida apparently actually gets a fair amount of tornadoes. I remember reading that at some point, though I don't remember where, so I can't cite my sources. Let's see, so we can attach our camera if we need to. Speaking of which, we do have our phone. Beautiful background. That is also a hint to Shadow at the Water's Edge and the Ryokan. Settings. I do love that background. We also get the Hardy Boys from Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. These are definitely the best Hardy Boys, in my opinion. White Wolf from White Wolf of Icicle Creek. Beautiful Isis there. Venetian Garden from Curse of Blackmore Manor. Squirrels from Warnings at Waverly Academy. Very cool drawings. And Melstorm, also from Warnings at Waverly Academy. I want to keep the Japanese garden. That's just very pretty. And let's see, I'm feeling in a purple mood today. Purple is my favorite color. So we'll just stick around with that. Who all can we call? We can call the Hardy Boys, and we can call Krollmeister at some point. The Hardy Boys have worked for Krollmeister before, I think. Or maybe they haven't. I could be lying. Let's see. Somebody's got a little stick. Ooh.
Mice! I agreed to tornadoes, but I did not sign up for mice.
Oh, come on, Nancy. Mice are harmless. If you leave them alone, they're not going to bother you. I mean, I don't want them in my house either, but thank you. This must be a fan who got to have her picture included. That's pretty cool. Just a random duffel bag here, which we'll apparently need to use later. Surface charts. Bunch of gibberish if you ask me, but I bet it'll come in handy later since we can look at it. Doesn't look like we can look at anything else here, although, was there something under the shelf?
Nancy, is that you?
Oh.
Yes, that's me.
Scott wants to meet you.
Be right there.
Nancy Drew, you made it. I'm Scott Varnell, the person in charge of this meteorological train wreck. Welcome aboard.
Are you the person I'll be reporting to?
You'll be reporting to Debbie. But make no mistake, I call the shots around here. Ever seen a real tornado, Nancy?
Well, yeah. As I was driving up to the farmhouse, it wasn't that big, but it sure threw a lot of debris around.
Well, isn't that just peachy? We spend hours racing all over the countryside, and where's all the action? Right in our own backyard. We're never gonna win this thing. The school's gonna pull the plug on us, sell the farm, and that's gonna be all she wrote. And it's all Krollmeister's fault for saddling us with a bunch of Bush League junk. But now that you're here, maybe our luck will change. 2 things you need to do right off the bat. I gotta give a workshop on tornado preparedness at the junior high school next week, so put a sample disaster kit together for me. If anything's missing, go up the road to Mon Pa's and get it there.
What else would you like me to do?
Second thing you need to do is redesign the warning siren layout for the local community. They just got a set of new sirens and their range is different, so the town asked me, and now I'm telling you, to figure out where to place them so if there is a tornado, everyone will be within earshot of a siren. All the information you need is on the chart in the other room. You have questions about anything, bug Debbie, not me. Nice meeting you.
That was quick. Very blunt, but okie doke. So I guess this is Scott. This is Scott Varnell. And now we can explore his office, so that's cool. Historic F5s. Oh man, Oklahoma's had a lot of big tornadoes. But again, those are not super common. I mean, they're spread out like 10 couple years at a time, although 1947 was a rough year. Man. Okay, what else can we look at in here? Gone with the Wind, a town says goodbye to Ma. The storm, like so many storms in this part of the country, came on quickly. The sky seemed to grow darker and more menacing by the second. Lightning cracked in the trees, and the storm gust ripped decorations from storefront windows downtown. Before the sirens even sounded, the first twister touched down. An hour later, as the first beams of sunshine broke through the dissipating clouds, a familiar cherry-red pickup lay overturned in the Coopers' South cornfield. 2 days later, it would be discovered. Most people around here simply knew her as Ma. For more than 3 decades, Betsy Oaks held her post behind the counter of Ma and Pa's store, always ready to welcome the day with a fresh pot of coffee and the latest gossip. Yesterday, for the first time in 30 years, the shutters outside Ma and Pa's stayed closed, as a devastated town began to realize the scope of its loss. Well, that's sad. So, a woman named Betsy Oaks, referred to as Ma, died in a tornado when her vehicle was overturned. That's so sad. Let's see. A large memorial has appeared outside Ma and Pa's general store. In addition to heartfelt farewells to Ma, its message is simple. Hurry back, Pa, we miss you. Under the sign, hundreds of handwritten notes of encouragement have been posted by the store's patrons. I know what it's like to be in his position, said customer Andy Janaway. It doesn't do you much good to stay cooped up at home all day. We just want him to know that we miss him and would like to see him again as soon as he's ready. So, Pa, the Pa part of Ma and Pa, obviously took the loss hard. I mean, that makes perfect sense. While residents struggle with Betsy's loss, one disturbing question is beginning to emerge. Why didn't the sirens go off? Asked resident Marianne Harrison. What good is having a warning system if no one knows how to use it? Well, it's not that simple, unfortunately, said Canute College storm researcher Scott Varnell. No one knows exactly what causes tornadoes to form. There are a lot of theories out there, but we're still years away from being able to accurately predict where the storms will touch down. No stranger to working out in the field, Varnell has made his career as one of the nation's foremost tornado experts. You may be familiar with what happened in Kearney a few years back. That's why I'm here today. When those storms rolled in, the whole town was caught off guard. If we had been able to get advanced warning, a lot of lives would have been saved. Varnell drops a large binder of storm data on the table. I had the information to give warning for this storm, said Varnell, but I couldn't figure out what it meant in time. None of us can, yet. As a tracker, Varnell is among those responsible for giving advanced storm warnings that can sometimes mean the difference between life and death. That's a heavy burden to carry. All we have, said Varnell, is warning. There is nothing we can do once the storm is on the ground. Storm trackers, myself included, have a responsibility to make sure that what happened to Betsy never happens again. I won't stop until we have a forecasting system that truly works. I mean, that's definitely an admirable task. It's important to look at, but very, very heavy as well. I mean, lots of lives depending on that. All right, what else do we have in here? Anything we can look at? Anything over here? There's like a pile of food, which is weird. We could turn on the radio. Oh, it's Haunting of Castle Malloy music. That definitely sounds like music that played in the pub in Haunting of Castle Malloy. Is that all that's on? I guess. I'm surprised Scott wasn't annoyed by that.
That tornado you just saw. What'd you think?
What do you mean?
Were you excited? Terrified? Did it make you want to go home? What?
Actually, that tornado is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I can't wait to see another one.
Now that's what I like to see. Wish I could get that sort of enthusiasm out of my students these days. Between you and me, the last few years I've gotten stuck with the worst students. I could be telling them about the most exciting storms on record, and all I get back is a sea of bored faces. Before they defunded my department, I got the best of the best. Students who really cared, like Debbie, but those days are over.
That must really be disappointing.
What are you, like 18? Do me a favor, kid, don't talk to me about disappointment till you've lived long enough to experience it firsthand. I'm sorry, Nancy, that was... I know you meant well. Anyway, Good news is, it looks like weather conditions for the next 2 weeks are going to be ideal for tornado genesis. Which means we could be in for a record-breaking string of tornadoes. You may be putting that enthusiasm to good use.
I sure hope so.
Scott's kind of rude. Kind of cranky. You were the one talking to me. Why did you yell at me? All right. Anyway, that's must be Debbie. But I think I'm going to leave this part right here, and in the next part we'll meet Debbie and get to work on some of our many chores. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, fellow detectives. I will see you soon.